Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pokemon Colosseum Let's Play. In this part, we're gonna be battling a bunch of trainers. But first, why don't we check out the Pokemart? I have no idea, I don't recall what I was looking for in here. I think I just wanted to see what they had. And it's like, oh neat, Hyper Potions, but yeah, you know, we need way more money for those, so we won't be getting those for a while. So, this is a hotel. You pay $100 a night. This is essentially, for the meantime, our Pokemon Center. For the moment. Yeah, little skizzy, but whatever. It's technically a hotel, so your character is supposed to sleep too. At this moment, I hadn't registered that you could actually go and explore the hotel, so. Oh, what's this? You look like a hottie. Why don't you lose that wallflower with you and be my sweetie? Wait a second, who are you to call me a wallflower? What about me makes me a wallflower? Look at her. She's all serious, uncool. I'm only teasing out of boredom. A guy like him is not my type. Pyraga, get her! I don't know. I read faster in my mind than I do speaking. For now. So she has a Gulpin and a Zubat. Well, I like how Colosseum, Stadium 2, Stadium 1 are the only games where Zubat actually, you could actually see the inside of his mouth. I'm not too sure about XD Gale of Darkness yet. And it's funny that they did that for Zubat, because they didn't do that for Golbat. Well, maybe they did in this game. I don't know yet. Oh no, Acid Armor! Stat buffing move. We need Haze. Never mind. False alarm, the Gulpin got knocked out. So he's kind of... the Gulpin... Okay, I've done my share, I'm going to bed. So, with this part, you're going to be seeing mostly Croconaw and Makuhita. Because I'm trying to show off how Shadow Pokemon work. Well, not trying, actually, I'm doing that. You see that purple gauge there? I know I briefly mentioned this in the last part, but that purple gauge there, it'll go down as we battle with Makuhita and Croconaw. Well, with Shadow Pokemon in general. And there are ways to get that to go down faster, which we will get into as this part progresses. What kind of man battles a frail girl like me without easing up? You're not going to win hearts like that. Meh. Pyraga, it was here in the square that I saw the Pokemon. I tried to leave town afterwards, and then that's when those guys grabbed me. We should be careful, even at the best of times. You're looking to fight? That's too funny. Come at me as if your life depended on it. Anyway. Ryder Vant wants to fight. And he sends out a Misdreavus and a Zigzagoon. Alright, so we got a Ghost and Tom Nook. So, Zigzagoon, a normal type Pokemon. It's the regional Rattata of the Hoenn region. It's fine. It's not a Pokemon I would go out of my way to use. I actually prefer Furret and Raticate over the Zigzagoon line. To be fair, actually, when I think about it, I like more of the regional birds more than I do the regional rat. It wasn't until Gen 9 came along where I, after Gen 3, where I actually would like one of the regional rats again. Oh, here we go. We'll come back to what I was talking about in a second. Hyper mode. So, in hyper mode, think of it like the gimmicks of a traded Pokemon. However, there's an interesting catch, as this guy will probably explain to us. Actually, no, he explains the other thing. But yeah, essentially when they go into hyper mode, if you don't do anything about it, the Pokemon will just act like they're a traded one, which kind of makes sense. We have been catching these Pokemon from people. But yeah, they'll either not obey, they'll go back into their Pokeball, they might attack you, apparently, from what something said in this game so far. Skitty was like a plushie there. But they also, on the plus side, if they do attack and you use Shadow Rush, it can crit. The crit rate for it goes up. What are you doing, me? When in doubt, use your Eevees. It's interesting. I mentioned in part 1, I believe, that Flareon is my favorite evolution. So is Umbreon. But if I have to pick from each generation, it's Flareon, Umbreon, and Leafeon. But that aside, it's really funny. Growing up, I liked Flareon. I've always liked Flareon. It had nothing to do with the stats. I just liked that it was a big fluff ball and a fire type. It was the fire type that got me interested in it as a kid, though because of how I play the games, I can never really use one. That's why I used one in my Leaf Green Let's Play. Because I typically always pick the fire starter. But anyway, when I was younger, I liked Espeon more than Umbreon. Then as I got older, they swapped. I like Flareon because Flareon is fluffy. I like Umbreon because it's not fluffy. Now let's catch Misdreavus. You know, they need a Pokemon. So Pokemon itself needs to come up with an explanation of how Pokeballs work. How does catching a Pokemon make it listen to you? Let alone catching a Pokemon that someone already owned. Alright, here you go. So he's telling us if a Pokemon goes into Hyper Mode, you can call it. And actually, the calling feature is actually very handy. Even for Pokemon that are not Shadow Pokemon. As you'll see in the next battle. This is Duel Square. We're even... okay. Let's just... How about you don't worry about what I'm saying? We just fight. Hold that thought, sir.
Greetings. How would you like to stay at our fine establishment for 100 Poké? So, did you have a good sleep?
Make this guy sound absolutely disturbing. Me and my friend are just gonna go. Yes, let's just go. Alright, let's fight. Excellent. Rider Nova. Red Nova, Nova. We call Knocked Owl and Ladybug over. Okay, I'll stop with the. Wait, I'll stop. I haven't quite decided if I will catch every shadow Pokemon. I will definitely try, but I think once I get ones that I definitely want to use, then I won't worry about it too much. But like I said, I will definitely try. I will for sure show them off as well. Alright, so Crocodile decides, and I'm gonna have a nap because that thing used hypnosis on me. Okay, I approve of Ladybug's tackle animation. So Ladybug, like Spinarak, is the regional bug, early bug, of the Johto region. Unfortunately, I think Ladybug's intention Ladybug and Lydium were specifically designed to be support. We'll come back to that. Yeah, calling a Pokemon can wake them up from their sleep. That's why I find the call feature useful even on Pokemon that are not Shadow Pokemon. See? Anyway, back to Ladybug. Ladybug, I think, was supposed to be support because, yeah, its attack stats are really even Ladian, sadly. Which is unfortunate, because I do like Ladian design-wise. Same with Spinarak and Ariados. Hi, Wingull. So literally, the downside of using two Shadow Pokemon at the same time, even though it speeds things up to get their gauges down, it also slows crap down when they decide they want to keep getting into hyper modes because their emotions are up. See? So, actually, inadvertently, this Wingull is kind of helping a bit. But as I know, we gotta get rid of that damn thing. And the Crocodile's like, yeah! I think I'm going to keep Makuhita in the team until I see another Gen 3 Shadow Pokemon. This game, it was big on giving us Johto Pokemon that you couldn't get in the Gen 3 games, so that's why there's a lot of Gen 2s to catch, and why we start off with Espeon and Umbreon. Which, don't get me wrong, I like a lot of the Gen 2 Pokemon. I probably like them all, but could you imagine if a Wingull, a freaking seagull, when he growls, just sounds like a T-Rex or a lion or something? That'd be a funny thing to actually edit into this if I had the time. So, let's see here. Wingull's just kind of hanging out. Knocked Owl's flying in the air. I'm gonna catch it. And I like that because I've trying to catch it. I had to come back onto the ground just to stand there for a second. And then just kind of jump way back up there. Woo! and then it has to stand there in the air to announce that it's using fly. Yeah, by this point I'd gotten sick and tired. Well, maybe not sick. I just kind of had enough of. Makuhita and Crocodile being like, yeah, we're just gonna not attack because our emotions went up. It's like, no, I want this battle done. So this is probably the last battle you'll see in its full length, unless it's story important. I'll probably cut specifically to the end of the battles, or just completely edit them out if the opponent already has Pokemon we've seen. There, we got the Knocked Owl. We just gotta get rid of the Seagull. They should make a variant of Wingull that's not a seagull, but just a gull. So it doesn't have the water typing, it could have, like, some other kind of typing. That's right, you better come to your senses. Good riddance to that bird.
You're saying I lost? What? Right then. I like your style. Here's a useful tip. If a Pokemon goes into hyper mode, its attacks become more likely to be critical hits. What a surprise, huh? Ho ho ho! You are like sticking around for a demonstration? Good, good. I like your attitude. Feast your eyes on these!
So, yeah, you're not going to see much of this fight. So, Diogo sends out Flaffy and Shroomish. Both are jerks. Ah, Flaffy. Evolves into one of my favorite electric types.
Flaffy was caught. All right.
And there you go.
You outperformed me.
This next battle, I did a different take for editing. She's just explaining that Shadow Rush can hit every type of Pokemon, regardless of power and this and that. Just had to heal up. Alright, next battle. This battle... Oi. This battle... Yeah, ugh. You want an example of the recording curse or just straight up bad luck? When the game is not on your side? So Skip Bloom and Oddish. Against Crocodile and Makuhita. So the Skip Bloom's our target. I wanted to speed this up because I also wanted to show off this battle, but this battle was unnecessarily long. It was also pretty funny. See, what I should have done was bum rush that Oddish. I'm not 100% sure, though, what makes a shadow Pokemon's emotions rise. Like, is it when they're, like, attacked? So the Oddish is gone, there's a Dustox now. And And I want that Dust Tox is in the way, so... See, just look at this. They say this game is hard, but the only thing that makes it hard really is probably just how long battles take. And yeah, there you go. So with that, I will see you all in the next part. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Until then, you all take care.